Hello everyone, welcome to the Flatcar Developer Sync meeting, the July edition, I would say. So quickly, uh, let me share the screen. So the agenda of the meeting is to discuss our the Flatcar roadmap items, and then take a look and discuss next Flatcar releases. And if you have any questions, feel free to drop a message on the Matrix channel or the YouTube chat. So I'll share my screen now. Sharing screen window. Is my screen visible?
Yes.
Yes.
Looks good. Maybe you could zoom it like tiny bit. Hopefully it will be readable in the YouTube stream.
Yeah. So I'll hand over the mic to Tilo, who would be discussing the OS roadmap board.
Thank you, Sayan. We don't usually have many updates on the roadmap board because those are really long-standing issues. We do have a bit of progress on the SysX front, and that's amazing to see. We've been working a long time on that, and we're very happy that there are some first kind of tangible results. This alpha release that just got out, we had our first OEM SysX release, and we'll be working through the other OEMs in the near future. And that would also enable the update of OEM-specific tools that's currently only in alpha. The SysX is out. We're still working on the update, but we're planning for this to not hit beta before we don't have the update in place. Also, Krish has started working on the deprecating Torx issue, so we're trying to get rid of a relatively legacy packaging thing for Flatcar called Torx, and that's going to be replaced by SysX. The only thing that Torx ever shipped for Flatcar is Docker, so we're working on getting Docker as a SysX for Flatcar as well. That will make the image more composable and will in the future ensure that the base image will be even leaner. That's already pretty much it for the roadmap.
Thanks, Tilo, for the updates. Next is Johanan talking about the cluster API roadmap board.
Yeah, hi folks. So let's go over in progress in order. So add documentation for CAP documentation to Flatcar. We're basically looking for volunteers. Some work has been done, but there is a lot more to go. So if anybody on the call or later on would like to pick up one guide for one provider, please weigh in. Magnum support, it's contributor work, community work. PR is open, waiting for a response from the contributors. So no news there. That's been like that for I think about a month. Preventing OS updates during image builds. That's my personal task. Nearly done. The final PR is up, waiting for an approval from the maintainers. I expect it to be merged pretty soon. And the race condition between kubeadm and containerd, also looking for volunteers. That has been raised by a community member, if I remember correctly, and looks like nobody picked up the actual implementation so far. Regarding future work, so I propose that we focus next on Ignition 3 support and Flatcar updates combined with CAPI. The main reason for these two items is that Vince Prignano, a core CAPI maintainer, has been looking into making Flatcar the official CAPI distro, which is pretty exciting. We've been in touch with Vince. He is currently away on paternity leave, and I think he's supposed to be back on July 1st, according to his Slack status. He didn't tell me that personally. So we have two relevant issues. These are the top two issues in the proposed clone. Adding support for Ignition v3 and yeah. Flatcar plus Cappy updates. So I think we can start thinking about design for both of these. But I would say that before we start any implementation work, we should really keep Vince in the loop and make sure things fall in line with the overall Cappy vision. Hopefully, he should be back in the next couple of days. So yeah, I think we should be able to discuss things with him. That's it on my end. Any questions or suggestions?
Yeah. So for the update part, I mean, the Flatcar updates already work. So it's more a question of what the policy is or how the user's in control of deciding when updates happen and to what version. And for copy updates, yeah, what we said was that the best approach would be to not use image builder, but like gather all desired configuration in one system sysx image, for example, and then this gets written to disk, and then we have a way to reliably replace it and yeah, kind of say, okay, I want to be on that copy version or on the other one. So that's the background information.
Yeah,
So
great.
we
Yeah,
so one thing, so since Kai, you have the issue creator, should we move this into this board for the CAPI and the SysX integration thing?
Yeah, it makes sense to. Yeah, so the issue was about making a proof of concept how this would look like in the end.
Okay. And another thing, maybe a small thing to share is like right now the release for CAPI mostly happens manually. So I did some work with automating that thing because it takes a lot of time to do that particular thing. It probably takes around 3-4 hours to do the complete set. So been working on the automation to run that as a part of our release and the Flatcar build process. I'll hand over the mic now to Kai.
Yeah, okay. So in this board, we track the status of the system sysx plans that we have. So one part is upstream improvement. The other one is how we use it in Flatcar. And for the upstream topic, we didn't really have much progress, but inside Flatcar, we started using it now for the Azure OEM partition. And yeah, the next step will be to make it actually be updated. So currently it's there for newly provisioned instances, and we also have some kind of fallback mechanism that it gets downloaded when it was not there, but we are still lacking the regular AB update mechanism. So that's what this Rust implementation is about. Currently in progress, the decoding of the update payload and also how the signing works. Yeah. Okay. And yeah, Mathieu, do you want to say something about the reload of units by default? I mean, that's also something that needs to be reworked and so on. So probably will take a while, I guess.
Yeah, I sent a PR a couple of weeks ago, and there is some back and forth with the maintainers. And now we have a new way to do this reloading. So yeah, I'm working on the implementation since the beginning of the week, because before that I was not didn't have the time to do it. So working on this now.
Okay, thanks for the update. Yeah. Good. Any other questions? So, I mean, maybe worth calling out that the OEM partition is now mounted under /OEM instead of /USR share OEM as part of this change. So that is now only in alpha. Okay, back to Cyan.
Cool. Thank you, Kai, for the updates. So I'll quickly move to the releases board. I'll so just to give an update. So during the last release, we decided that we will be changing a bit into our cadence. So earlier we used to do a 2-week cadence, and right now we'll change the cadence of the releases from doing for every 2 weeks to having 2 releases per month, and the first release of the month would usually be the major update, be it alpha, beta, or stable, and the next one, which is like towards the end of the month, would have we will have a alpha major, but the beta and stable would usually be the patch release. So we currently wrapped up the last release on 19th June, and actually in previous week. So we added the, as Kai mentioned, that we added the alpha OEM sysx feature into alpha, and they would be promoted to beta and stable over course of time. So, and now we would start preparing for the next set of releases, which would have alpha and a beta major release, and a stable minor and LTS minor release. So we are looking to a couple of packages getting upgraded, and most of these are mostly to tackle the security releases, security updates, and a lot of them are covered in the weekly updates, but then there are a few which are not. So if you're willing to contribute to Flatcar, this could be a good opportunity to pick up the issues. If you need help, you can always ping us on Matrix. And Matthew actually worked on a tutorial as well, so you can also refer to that. It's there on the docs. It's a kind of a 4-step guide, I guess, to walk through items and see how Flatcar works. So you can probably refer to that as well. Now heading over to the implementation board, we have a couple of issues. So the reason this is in still in there is one the LTS Pro offer in Azure that is still kind of in between state, and it's not gone live yet. And there is one release for the Cappy which is still pending, so I need to complete that. And once it's done, I'll mark this as done. uh, then we have the items which Kai and Matthew talked about. Okay, so then going to this issue. So, Kashmir, do you have any update on this?
This is currently blocked on actually having a pull request in Jenkins OS to be merged before I can test this one. Because the issue is about that on Fridays we are doing the two-phase builds of the SDK, and they are not, and the tags created during that build are not pushed to the main branch. So I had like a fix for that, but it's blocked on the Jenkins OS pull request. So
Okay.
yeah, once this gets merged, I can test it and then, well, get a review of merges.
Sure. The next one is also something Matthew shared. I guess this is related to the sysx work, right, Matthew?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah. And this one is the one which you were talking is kind of in the like not working on this right now, and you were planning to move. This was the issue.
So yeah, this issue is only regarding stable channel. So once beta will be promoted to stable, it will be solved.
Okay.
So we can move it back to backlog.
Okay, got it. So okay, and then
Or can we close it if there's nothing to do?
Yeah, it was more to keep it as a tracking issue if someone falls into this issue and wants to quickly see if something is already open. But yeah, we can close it. I mean, everything works.
so one thing I noticed in systemd repo, they usually pin a few issues. So will it be good if we can pin issues in our repo as well, if people want to have a quick? I mean, the ones which are kind of broken, and we know that will be fixed in the next few releases.
So this is
Yeah.
this is my issue. Yeah, basically this was a small fix that I did like, I don't know, couple months now. I don't remember. I filed a pull request for it. But I think there were some issues with GitHub Action at the time, and I basically was working on something else and forgot. So I rebased this pull request today, and I hope the GitHub actions are currently testing this as we speak. Yeah, so
Cool. Thank you. Yeah, and this one.
so this is also something I'm working on.
Okay.
So this is a bit related to my work on putting all the system packages under the package automation. So I had like last batch ready, but it was blocked on the OpenSSH update. So I decided to put OpenSSH also back to Portage table because the modifications that we were making were minimal and we could implement them in different way. And this OpenSSH update was also actually changing this default SSHD configuration to read drop-ins. But there was one issue with the default configuration shipped by Gentoo, which mm, basically you couldn't override certain subsystem options. And if you tried, then SSHD complains about some option being defined twice and quits, which basically makes the machine inaccessible over SSH. So I have filed a pull request to Gentoo to allow, well, not specifying the subsistence option in the default SSH configuration, but I haven't received any response yet. Hopefully it will be acceptable, and then
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So the next one is so we recently updated the NVIDIA GPU support to the base image, and these were a few of the fallouts on adding this was kind of like a few implementation thing that Kai suggested we could change. I am planning to open a new issue as well, or probably update this issue with a couple of more um, things that we probably need to do in the NVIDIA GPU's Flatcar space, which is primarily around like revamping the test and making it and seeing also like it had failures around SE Linux. So why that things were happening and track them in an issue. So those are the things I'll probably update this issue title and track it in this issue itself. Uh, and I'll probably move this into like a backlog or some other sections where because I would not work in. I'm not seeing I'll be working on this for over the next month. Yeah, so this is something Kreshimir has been actively working on. So yeah, I think.
Yeah. So the putting those system packages out the automation basically
Right.
fits into. So there's this one last batch that is, as I said, blocked on the OpenSSH update. So yeah.
Okay, got it. And okay, so we do have two more issues. So yeah, Tilo, do you want to take this up?
Yeah, absolutely. That's something that Krish also expressed interest in working on. It's part of the whole Torx replacement thing. So before we can replace Torx and the kind of specialized Docker package that it shipped, we should add the generic Gentoo Docker package to our ebuilds repo into Portage stable. So this issue tracks that, and after those have been integrated, those will just be lying there. They won't be used. But after the Docker and its dependency ebuilds have been integrated, we'll be able in the next step to build a sysext image from that. There's actually another PR ongoing, which is almost done, that also was authored by Krish, and that's on abstracting building sysext. It's a simple command, build sysext. So build sysext Docker will then happen, and we can at the same time retire Torx entirely and just ship the sysext image in the base image and the update payload for the time being. Of course, further down the road, this will allow us to ship a say, extremely stripped down image, even without any Docker, and then the user can compose Docker sysx or any other sysx that they would want, Podman, I don't know, Wasm. There's a lot of interest in that direction going on. But for now, this will all be bundled with the base image.
Cool. Thanks, Hilo.
Yeah, I suggested to rename this issue because I don't think it's a good approach to have 2 times the same package because they have the same category now.
No, they don't.
No, they have it now, so that's why I said it.
And
okay. I think it's too confusing. And we have the downstream changes for a reason, and I think we can just try to update our regular package, or at least make it currently usable by the sysx build script. And that would also be fine because I think it's
that would make sense,
difficult to have both at the same time used and try to, because I think it needs changes anyway.
It would make sense, but I think it's a separate discussion. So our downstream changes will make it a lot harder to actually track the Gentoo packages. If you want to do that, that's fine. We just need to be aware whether the downstream changes that we're still carrying are worth the additional work. But that's out of scope of this issue. But I mean, that's good input.
I've just one note because I was the one who actually moved the Docker packages from app emulation to app containers category. Yeah, because basically my goal was to see if we could start using actually Gentoo packages instead of our own modifications. But I guess we could probably work around it by using Gentoo packages but modified with some extra use flag for the torque purposes, which would be disabled by default, something like that. In the end, I wanted to use the Gentoo packages, but the problem is that we are using actually newer versions than Gentoo. I think the Gentoo is not updating those Docker packages and containerd and runc and stuff as often as we are.
I've taken a look and it's only runc. So Gentoo is at different runc patch level, at an older patch level. But that would be easy to bump. And they're actually on a way newer Docker. They ship Docker 23. And I think containerd was the same version, if I recall correctly. But anyways, yeah, so good input.
Cool. So this issue is the one Kashmir was talking about. I think we are done here. So one thing I wanted to add to our developer things was I'll stop sharing my screen. So one thing I wanted to add was we can quickly go over and discuss the items we plan to work over the next 1 month. So I'll share my updates, the planning that I'm doing. So I plan to work on the CAPI automation and wrap that up over the next month. And then also towards the starting of the month, I plan to start working on the Grub update. That's also kind of half done. So planning to start work there. And I started a discussion with Kai and Matthew regarding like having nightly builds into release builds. So let's see how that discussion moves forward. Yeah, that's mostly my plan for the next month. I'll hand over to Matthew to take over next.
Yeah, thanks, Ian. For the next weeks, next month, I plan to work on also SE Linux. After the PR that Kojimi has reviewed, I'd like to identify all the denials we still have into the system and try to close them by sending upstream pull requests or trying to get around it and why we have both denials. But yeah, that's the idea, to have a clean system with SE Linux. And after that, but many months, see how we could relabel all the old system and have SE Linux enforced by default. Okay, Kai?
I will look into this sysx update topic for OEMs, and currently reviewing Chris' pull request. And I also want to say that we have a couple of new issues. One was for beta filed, and another one about TLS. That's also something that Jeremy looked into. But I don't know if we also should make a review of these again. But okay, let's continue with Kashmir.
Yeah, my month is going to be rather short because half of it is going to be my holidays, which I'm very happy about. Uh, but so yeah, the following 2 weeks, I mostly want to focus on the package automation and updating more of the packages. And I think that I'll go back to um, updating other images to other platforms to use x86 image instead of whatever we had right now after I'm back from holidays. Yeah. So package updates and package automation. That's my goal for the next 2 weeks. Mm, yeah, let's hear from Johannes. Do you have any plans for the cluster API?
Yeah, I plan to merge the one PR that's under my name at the moment, and then hopefully when Vince Prignano is back, I want to keep the discussion with him going, see where we can help to get Flatcar, or to at least evaluate the option of having Flatcar better integrated with Cluster API. That's going to be probably a lot of work and involve a lot more people, but yeah, I'll start, and whoever else wants to join is welcome.
You're supposed to pick the next one, Johanna.
Oh, I wasn't paying attention who was picked already. I think Cyan didn't say anything. Is that right? Maybe
I
Jose?
went over.
Oh, that's not Jose. I'm sorry, I misread. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Dongsu can go over next. Yeah, Dongsu is the only one left.
Next month, I'm going to continue working on UERS, the Rust-based re-implementation of update engine together with William. Currently, I'm working on the CRAU header parsing part, which was initially created by William, and now I'm improving that part to be able to integrate that part with the signature verification. Yeah, that's currently the focus area. On the other hand, I'm going to also jump into the current CI issue of update to SSH keys. Currently, as CI is broken because Python 2 is not available in these days in the default distros. So plan is to migrate all the parts of, written in Python to Rust because update SSH keys itself is simply written by Rust by default. That might make sense. Okay, that's it. And Joe, you want to say something?
Hello. Yes, I just wanted to join. I've tried to join this meeting once before. For some reason, the Jitsu Meet client didn't work or something. So it's good to finally connect and hear about the new features coming out. I've had a meeting with Tilo before and Danielle as well. We're focused on trying to get Hyper-V support into Flatcar along with hypervisor bridge code. I owe Tilo some feature requests on this one. Since you guys are part of the Microsoft family, it's kind of poor form that Hyper-V is not already supported, but it is what it is. So expect to see some feature requests coming through from me fairly soon. Just tiny bit about Qualys. We're a security software company. We have an appliance called Qualys Gateway Server. We have about 6,200 of these rolled out, and they all run Flatcar Container Linux. So thank you for all your hard work.
Thank
Awesome.
you, Joe.
Thanks, Joe.
So I'll also put in Gabriel's update. He could not be part of the meeting, so he would be working on like the COPS integration with the changes to Cloud Init. So primarily the focus area for him would be that. And I guess with that, Anything else who folks want to add? Anything that I missed?
I have a bit of like document writing to do for our CNCF submission. So Flatcar has submitted the project to incubation state, and we're in full engagement with a number of technical advisory groups. It's awesome working with the CNCF folks. There's a bit of documentation to do and a bit of iteration with those tags, and that's what I'm jumping in head first. If I have a few spare minutes, I look into the SysX initiative. There's some things I'm interested there as well. And I have a presentation on Flatcar in the KCD Munich meetup, which is, I think, 16 and 17 July. So that's in about 2.5 months or so.
Thank you, Thilo. Sorry we missed you. But
No problem. I'm fine.
Cool. So I think that brings us to the end of the meeting. Thank you everyone for joining. See you and have a great day.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Bye.